coronavirus, COVID-19. This is our second part. We did one the other night with Brandon Pearson, where we talked more about the dark side of it, the conspiratorial side of it, and now we're getting more into more logical side of it, just because we have a little bit more proof now. We have a little bit more understanding what's happening with the hospitals, right? The military, things that are going on. And so, if we can, if you guys, I mean, shoot. I mean, I know some of you guys were kind of worried about, what this really is or what you think this is. Does anybody want to kind of state their opinion on what they think it is?
What I think is that we should, like I said before in the previous podcast, we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid of like the virus itself. I think it's bullshit. I think what we should be more mindful of is what the government is doing about the virus, especially because we just saw like 375 different tanks being being trained into Florida. We're being woken up in the middle of the night in my neighborhood in Orangevale of like fighter jets and helicopters, like 40, 50 helicopters flying overhead. We got in California, we got Newsom mobilizing the National Guard, and military is now like boots in the ground in California. So in that, we need to kind of see here that we shouldn't really be focusing on the dangers of the virus. We should be focusing on the dangers of the government and how they're acting about this. Because I think that this virus is just a smokescreen for whatever agenda the government is trying to push forward right now.
You should probably touch on the fact that there is a mandatory curfew in Sacramento right now. It's like at 10 o'clock, mandatory, and then San Francisco's completely on lockdown.
Yeah, no 420, no Hippie Hill, nothing. They're going to put you in jail if you go to Hippie Hill this year.
Well, I mean, I was reading earlier that the fact that even if you're out after 10, it's not the fact that you're going to get arrested. It's more like the curfew is to persuade bars to not stay open for business.
That's
mostly like what the...
So, Brandon, I mean, what do you feel like the hidden agenda is that everybody just don't see right now?
Now, I mean, right now would probably be I don't know. There's so many conspiracy theories surrounding an event that would happen like this. We got the Georgia Guidestone theory, where they're attempting to push forward their New World Order. They're trying to do the Georgia Guidestone thing, where they're trying to get the world population down to 500 million. Now we get 9 billion, so it's gonna be really hard. But so this is the first step to move towards that. And then we have another aspect that's connected to the population decreasing is the FEMA camps that we all saw back in the early 2000s, like 2007, 2009. We saw all over the internet and just suddenly disappeared. And now we're getting a lot of talks of FEMA being involved in the COVID-19 virus proceedings and procedures and how to handle it. And then people are starting to get YouTube videos out there, and we're seeing these coffins out again. If you look at Iran and these other countries around the world, they're doing the same thing that we're doing. They're doing the shutdowns of everything. People can't go out. They're doing their own kind of martial law. And then in Iran, if you look at the satellite imaging, you can see a massive area where they just dug out this giant hole, and it looks like they have hundreds of thousands of plastic type coffins in their area, and then they have a massive open hole that they just made that looks like it could be a mass grave.
What do you have to type in to see that?
Sorry?
What do you have to type in to see that?
Just type in Iran satellite imaging mass grave, I guess.
I believe they had a mass grave in China as well. I believe I heard something about that.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, kind of on my point on it, and I'm backtracking kind of what I talked about last time, because I'm at this point I've looked at the numbers. I mean, just in the hospital alone, on how much the hospitals can actually maintain and what they can handle. We aren't prepared for a pandemic. We aren't.
No.
When it comes to the hospitals. And when you look at the numbers too, they're astronomical. It's I think we can house 6,000 for the intensive care units. Yet there could be potentially 40,000 people that they need it for. This is just Sacramento, the numbers I did it on.
Okay.
So it's the same all the way around though. So when we're looking at this, honestly, because some people are going to be scared about what this is all about and everything. To me, my own personal opinion of this, now that I've done the numbers, I've seen what this is. If I was running a country, and this goes to all the countries that are out there, all presidents, even the Mexican president that's getting scrutiny for what he's doing, I think that this is something that it's kind of a correct response. Now the military could be kind of a little, you could be scaring people. And I want to get into that when it comes to Jade Helm in 2015, because all conspiracy theorists should understand that we've been on this since 2014, 2015 when it came to Jade Helm. And we've been seeing the military vehicles on the railroads. So is this something that they planned, or this is something that they knew would happen and they wanted to prepare for it? Because in my opinion, it's when we're looking at the fact that they won't be able to handle the amount of people coming in, it's just like influenza. Imagine, because at the end of the season, we see 500,000 people dead. Now, we don't see 500,000 people dead in 1 week. That'd be insane. But if you trickle the numbers, because they believe that everybody's going to catch this, they believe that no matter what, everybody's getting this. But what they're doing with this whole social distancing is that they're allowing us to basically trickle the effect into the hospital. So that way people can get in, get cured, and get out. That's why they're doing all this curfew stuff. Exactly. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, I think
testing the younger generation people like in their 20s, 30s, because the people who are like in their 50s and up with like medical conditions are more susceptible to this virus. And then I saw maybe like 3 days ago there was 56 confirmed cases in Sacramento, and the projection is that 80% of Sacramento alone will catch this virus.
Crazy. Rob.
Yeah, it's when you spoke to it about conspiracy theorists, I think we kind of got to stop labeling it and connecting conspiracy theorism with COVID-19 just because it's not a theory anymore. I got pictures of Humvees in cities. You got pictures of 5-6 Humvees on Washington Boulevard in Roseville. You got a few parked in a Roseville gas station. That's not a theory anymore. So people need to stop looking at it from a perspective of, oh, you're just talking crazy. You're just a conspiracy theorist. No, that's conspiracy fact. It ain't no theory. I'm seeing it. So I think that's something that conspiracy theorists or theorism has a stigma about itself, is that, oh, you're crazy, or you just think way too outside of the box, or you're too extreme to one side. I think we got to stop looking at that and kind of look at more factual things, and the facts stand for themselves. I definitely feel myself, as far as in comparison with the virus and the talk, the panic itself is the danger. I don't think the virus at all is the danger to the point of to where we need to be worrying about.
The panic
It's literally the panic of the people, and it's the panic of the people, and I emphasize people because the person is smart.
I got some of it right there too.
As individuals, we are smart, we are intelligent, but when we get in a society, in a group, we start exchanging ideas, and we worry ourselves. We create concerns.
Are these some of the pictures you're talking about that you've seen?
Yeah.
Kind of like. So yeah, he's right. We got military vehicles in cities setting up. I have a few other friends that have been talking about this too. There's military vehicles being put out throughout the entire area. But do you think maybe they're doing this as a precaution in case, for instance, this does get too crazy? They want to stay ahead of this?
It could be.
Definitely.
Yeah, it could be a precaution.
Yeah, you could look at it from this perspective too, and this is not a outside the box. I think it was more of the conventional thought is and this is a little scary, but maybe it's worse than what they're telling us. Maybe they're looking at this as more of a precaution that they're taking because they don't want it to spread, and it's maybe something that they're having a bit of a struggle curing or reducing the symptoms. So that is a possibility. You do have to look at it. Even I don't care if you're a conspiracy theorist through and through, and you're someone who just feels like always is something against you or is something against the people. That is something that you do have to consider. I don't care what realm of thinking you're on. You do have to consider that. That is a possibility that could be worse than what they're telling you.
Absolutely.
The other side is it, and this is kind of more the side where you're looking at it from a perspective of, okay, is it really this bad, and is this just a test to see how much control they actually have? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they're testing, they passed. They're looking at it, if it's a governmental type of test to the point where they can see how society will react to some type of pandemic, or to see how much control, or to the other side, and we'll probably get into this later, forced vaccinations, things like that. You got people on the religious side with the whole mark of the beast, and the
forced vaccinations. You think that could be it?
The vaccinations are going to force to have a microchip put in the arm, and you get into those type of aspects. But there's so many different realms and so many different avenues people are taking it. I feel like no one should be dismissive to anybody's point. At the same time, I don't think you should be oblivious to the truth and the facts that you see. Come up with your own conclusion based on those facts that you've researched yourself, because this stuff is not hidden. Yeah. You can find this shit online. You can talk to anybody, and you can find it and develop your own conclusion from that point and be educated about it. But I think the panic needs to stop. Obviously we'll probably get into it too with the toilet paper buying. Like, stop. I even posted something about the baby wipes. Like if you don't have no child or you're not helping anybody with a child, stop buying up all the goddamn baby wipes. Like, seriously, seriously, like, you be smart. Like, as a society, be smart about this thing. I get people are buying up water. That's an essential thing for everybody. But when it comes to the stuff like that, that's essential to a specific group, you need to stop. Like seriously, like that's ridiculous. Like, you trying to wipe your seams with the baby wipes
about the virus though, and how
we
should actually be. It's true. We should be concerned about it because based off of my research is that why we're freaking about the COVID-19 is because we don't know exactly what it is. This particular strain of this virus, coronavirus, is a regular flu. We've known about it for a long time. It's just a regular kind of flu that goes around. People get it. It's a cold. It's a flu. Normal thing. But the COVID-19 is a particular strain of the coronavirus that we know little to nothing about. And we don't know about the gestation period. We don't know how long it lasts. We don't know if it could get worse. People can get better and then people can get worse and then get better. But then they can get worse after they've gotten better. That's the gestation period. It can carry on 30, 60, 90 days and could effectively kill people that have had it already and that have already gotten better because we don't know. We don't know how it could react to our bodies. It's a completely new strain. We've had viruses like this before do this, but we've always been a step ahead of it. This one's brand new, and it looks as if it's artificially made, and it came out of China, and because it was artificially made and it came out of China, that's why all the sirens are like going off right now, because this is artificially made. It came from a foreign country. It could be a biological attack, so we're taking our precautions. Now, this looks like a biological attack that got out of hand because it's like worldwide at this point.
Well, you heard what they said, right? It's like they said that now it affects you neurologically.
Yeah.
They just came out with that. That's official now. It affects you neurologically. That's scary. So and here's another thing that
I'm speak on that a little bit more specifically.
Yeah, because of the fact that I personally, I'll personally attest to this, and I won't know until I get tested. But I kind of feel, and I hope everybody feels this way, because I've been talking to random people and saying it out loud as I gone into grocery stores. We've all had this. This has come through Sacramento already. We all caught this. If you guys don't remember in January, that nasty thing that we all caught, bro. I've never.
I had it.
Never.
I was coughing bad. It was a bad cough.
Right.
And it was lingering for a long time.
And it still lingers.
Yeah.
And it
comes back. God. It goes away. Comes back.
It goes away. Comes back.
Right. I feel you.
Right. Look at this right here. What's happening? This happens in grocery stores. Like I had some people in the aisle next to me saying, "Bro, I had that same." Bro, I was like, "Right? There was a beast. I don't know what that was."
All I'm saying, look into it.
It is true that ibuprofen makes it worse. It prolongs it.
Oh wow.
As well.
Yeah.
It made it suck. It made it last for almost 2 full weeks for me.
So my point on that.
Stop talking about the Tylenol. That's acetaminophen. People are saying Tylenol, ibuprofen.
It's like I said when I had that, it was about I'd say a month and 3 weeks, and people that could attest to me that know me, I catch flus yearly about 3 to 4 easily. So I have this kind of. No, I really can I can tell what kind of flu it's going to be. I can tell that, okay, on this second day, yep, I could say the second day this mucus is going to happen, then I'm going to get a headache, and then I'm going to burn up, and then I already know the steps each day. I already know what's going to happen. And so in my opinion, and by the way, what cured me from it, and you might laugh if you want to, Juanita's. Definitely go to Juanita's. Get the menudo from Juanita's. That is the best. The best. That shit will cure that shit.
No, I mean, I remember it was like a month or two ago. We were trying to do our podcast and we couldn't do it because
right?
you was out. You was sick. So I mean, I remember it. I'm like a month ago. I was dealing with I didn't really have a fever or anything, but I had a serious cough where I was just coughing up whatever that was in my chest, But I mean, I didn't feel like I had to be bedridden or I needed to go see the doctor or I was like super hurt and I just had a bad cough, And I think my throat was hurting a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So
I think that's a good point, though. I think this has ran its cycle.
It's ran its cycle through already. Which is why I was mad and I felt some type of way because I had a trip planned. And so I was very, very angry about it. I'm not too angry about the response no more just because I realized they won't be able to handle the amount of people that go in there in terms of older people that could die from this. So I totally get it. Something I want to show, though, what you were speaking about, Brandon, about the fact that it's neurological now is what they're saying. Because when I had it, going back to that, there were times where I was dizzy. Where I would get up, I was like, whoa. And I wouldn't remember things. Like she would say, oh, the other day you did this or that. I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, yeah, you did. I was like, oh, wait, that's kind of scary. Like, I think you're right. Just weird things that it kind of made me. It was different than anything else I had. So, and I won't find out until I get tested. When I do, I'm going to do another podcast and literally talk about people that were infected before this whole thing started. But I mean, do you guys remember?
That's another thing, getting tested.
Bro,
That's a whole nother.
last year, this whole thing last year about the zombie deer. Remember that?
I've never seen this personally.
What the fuck? What happened to this deer?
Last year, no, these deers basically get this disease, and it makes them just be docile. They just walk around like zombies, and that's it until they die.
Looks like they have boils on them. They're just sick.
And then they just die. Look at, they just walk around. There's a mother and her.
So they give them a vaccine?
I mean, we don't know, but it's in the meat. The scientists said, and they were looking at it, and they didn't. And again, coronavirus comes from animals, so like it's scary, bro. Like it's almost like, wait, is this why it's such a scare? Because of the fact that maybe later it could do something like this to humans. I mean, all these zombie movies we've been seeing, you know what I mean? It's like that would be scary if all of a sudden it is that serious to where it would do something like this.
Well, you know about that wasp that will sting a spider in the brain and take control of its entire body, right? And lay its eggs in there and leave, and the spider would be completely under the wasp's control.
Like a little puppet master?
Yeah,
Jesus.
The larva would be born inside the spider and eat the spider from the inside out.
Right.
But it basically controls the spider.
That's how wasps attack spider.
That's crazy. And then
What's the
going
name of that wasp, you know?
Oh yeah,
Well, there's different types, but the
fucking
desert
umbrella,
one is the
bro.
one
Yeah,
that I
it's-
think of
it's-
people.
and just lastly,
Wow,
just
that's
this the
crazy.
last thing I want to say is that if you're a fan, because I
Resident Evil?
love Resident
I
Evil.
love it, dude. I play the games.
But I mean, goodness, man. I mean, read that in the famous video game series Resident
I
Evil.
know, right? They're not even trying.
Look at what the freaking corporation of the facility where this came from. Look at the symbol. It's the same symbol from
It's
like.
the same symbol, and it means corona.
Why would it be the same
Corona.
symbol?
The part that gets me the most is raccoon is rearranged to spell corona.
I know.
Oh my God! I did. Yeah.
That's crazy.
When you rearrange Corona, it's Raccoon City, Corona City.
Unfucking
Like, why the hell would they do that?
unbelievable.
Bro, I'm telling you.
So
Like, this is-
okay, so let me. Somebody needs to do research and fact check this though. The Lysol can that has human corona on it was that
Dude,
on there prior to the first Resident Evil movie, or first Resident Evil game, I should say, on
The
PlayStation.
vaccines and spell Nemesis Project.
Okay, so that could So I was just trying to maybe disprove or prove
So-
one way or the other, like as far as that, because the first Resident Evil game was like what in the '90s.
That's a trick.
The first one on PlayStation.
That's today, right?
Yeah, that's
Here's another
Yeah,
one.
the
too.
one you posted about the purge and it being 321 and yeah.
That's wild.
That's today, man. It's Ohio. It's okay.
It's Ohio.
All right, we can do the purge. I got something for you.
Right. I
That's
mean, we do the
something for you.
purge. I mean, where all them people that got that toilet paper, it's mine. That is mine.
Well, they're just stocking up for people who have guns.
Oh, and then be careful when you do that.
What
It's like
happened to all
crazy.
these
It
good guys
sounds
with
nuts.
guns?
But yeah, man, it's
The guys want to do like supporting guns. Like, it's good guys with guns, and now they're all talking like, we're gonna steal toilet paper. Like, throw
right.
the good
So
guys
that's.
with guns.
They're gonna shoot you.
I mean, I'm hoping.
Mm-hmm. Everyone stocking up who doesn't have a gun is just stocking up for people who have guns.
It's cool, man. Just shit in your sink.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too optimistic about the government, but it's just. I'm just hoping that this is just medical. Like this is just something that they can't handle medically, so they're trying to trickle the effect, and they're having the military there just in case because they want to stay ahead of this thing. That's what I'm hoping that it is because again, man, I just don't see. I mean, okay, they've had the FEMA camps, they've had the coffins, we've seen all this build up till now. I'm expecting more. I'm like, really? Is this what you got for us?
It's early stages.
It's early stages.
Expect more. Expect more.
You know, this is probably
Right.
just like necessary to cover up something else the government is doing right
Yeah,
now.
let's
right?
focus on what the news we're hiding right now. Like,
Yeah,
the
every time-
distraction. What's going
Every
on?
time something like this has happened in the United States, in the
Well,
past,
let's
We
look
got
at the.
elites. We got
Okay.
elites
Something else
being
is
called
being
out.
called
on
I hit this one more
pedophilia.
time.
We got elites being called out on the pedophilia right now. Like Jeffrey Epstein had his black book. Black book was out, and now we know. Look at all these CEOs of every company
Well,
stepping down all of a sudden
even-
because they were mentioned in Epstein's black book of fucking pedophiles that go to his island to fuck kids. Man, and all of a sudden we got fucking coronavirus now to kind of smokescreen the fact that we're calling out fucking elite pedophiles.
I mean, the most recent one I can remember is when gay marriage was legalized. When that was going on, they were passing the TTP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership,
Yeah.
and nobody really wanted that because it was like detrimental to the normal society. But we were all worried about gay marriage being legalized.
Gay marriage.
Who was supplying the kids to the islands? That's
The,
what
the kids, the
Yeah.
islands, dude, fucking black market underground sex trade.
I'll pull this up too.
He's got money, dude. Makes
So-
a call. He's making
So going back, also, so let's talk about
at least Harvey got some time.
let's talk about. He didn't kill himself. I know who knows what he did.
Connection when he gets out.
I thought it was hilarious that he was showing up to the courtrooms with the walker, like he is hard in the walk. Niggas, shut up.
Okay. So we want to talk about corporations. We want to talk about people. Talk about things being hidden. So like, I mean, the corporations are going to want bailouts from this. So we're all getting, supposedly, I think it's gone up to $1,300 now that we individually will get. Right. And so airlines, I mean, this is from Holger Zajkapitz, can't really read the name, but how absurd airlines and Boeing went out of bailout, but large U.S. airline companies spent most of their free cash flow over the past 10 years on share buybacks, propping up their quarterly earnings.
That's a big thing going on right now for corporations with stock buybacks. AT&T is getting into that. There's a lot of other corporations that are getting into that. As far as share buyback, stock buyback.
So explain that. How does that work?
That's a big thing right now. Basically, you convince the shareholder that this is what's going to get the stock itself, because that's the purpose of the shareholder buying your stock, is to increase their gains. So that's what corporations end up doing.
So that's what they're doing right now. A lot
Correct.
of them.
So one right now with AT&T is that they've gotten Elliott, which is a hedge fund company, to reduce labor within the company. And this is just an example. Many corporations are doing this. Isn't just isolated to AT&T, and it's not unique to them. But this is just an example of what they do and what they're continuing to do right now, which is lay off a lot of the labor force, because that. At the end of the day, that's a cost that the corporations. It's easy. That's one of the things that corporations can cut that shareholders are willing to swallow, if that makes sense, is labor costs. Because it's such a big fiscal line item when it comes to expenses for a corporation, is what you're paying the employees that are employed by you. And so that's the first thing that they look at, is what they can cut in regards to that. What is significant? What is profitable? What has the highest amount of productivity? So they look at those charts. That's why everything's just run by numbers. And so they look at it, okay, this department, this area, this entity, this part of the business is not they look at it from a productivity standpoint. Okay, it's bringing this much value to the company. Okay, and they rank everything. Okay, the one that's at the bottom is the one that's probably most likely going to get cut. So they look at it from, and not just that. It's not just the lowest, but it's also too, what's the biggest threat. They have an algorithm for all of this. That's, I could get into detail about, but I don't necessarily want to do that specifically.
And I don't know if it's manufactured, but they're definitely taking advantage.
It's any corporation running within the United States that feels that they will gain an advantage with stock buybacks. And that's what ends up happening. And that's where you get the CEOs getting the golden parachutes, and where they take off and they end up getting a certain amount based on stock and things like that when they leave. There's a lot of things that tie into that. But what you spoke to in regards to the stock buybacks, that's where it comes from.
Another thing Peter Schiff said, I like this. And instead of moving the deadline to file 2019 tax returns to July 15th, Donald Trump should delay it until November 3rd. If people voted and filed their taxes returns on the same day, they may be angry enough to vote for politicians willing to cut government spending and lower taxes. That's awesome. That's a good idea. Because they pushed that shit back now to where you don't have to do your taxes until July. It's just good for me. Because I hate paying federal taxes. But, I mean, do you think that's a good idea, doing it during voting time? That's interesting.
There's always something going on during voting time.
So,
and I don't want to say that as saying that from a conspiracy theorist perspective, or have that type of answer. It's, if you look at the history, just look at history. I'm a big proponent on history. That was my best subject in any type of academics. You repeat when you continue a habit. And that's what ends up becoming your future. So when it comes to this, you can look at just your history and what it shows. It's not something that's, you know, outlandish or so outside the box to think about or fathom. It really isn't.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I'm thinking when it comes to this, we're seeing the corporations do what they do best, trying to capitalize on a crisis. They're not going to let a good crisis go to waste. Right. And so it's and I'm interested to see what kind of laws are being passed right now. I haven't even looked into that. But I mean, with everything else going on with the corporations, everything else, this is going to mandate vaccines, period. When it comes to the Real ID, with all your information placed on there, you will have to be vaccinated.
Without a doubt.
That's probably the most scariest thing about this.
The argument of vaccines or no vaccines is going to be eradicated. Mm-hmm. It's going to get to the point where the people who really, truly don't want to get vaccinated, you are going to be so in the minority, you're going to be overwhelmed. So
enjoy 15 different metals in your body. That's what it is. Even if you are getting the dead cells of, and I'm not anti and I'm not for, but really when it comes to vaccines, and I've spoken to 9 doctors on this. I'm looking for my 10th, but I've spoken to 9 different doctors on this, and they literally every time could never give me an answer, a straightforward answer when it comes to the amount of strains per year there is for flu. I say, give me one vaccine to just cure all flus. I'll take it. I'll take your vaccine. But other than that, no, I have to continuously take it year by year to where you're putting all 15 types of these metals, which are linked and related to thiazine, mercury, which is the same thing, but different metals that are in there and preservatives that aren't supposed to be in my body that will hurt me over time. So you're doing this to me every single year to prevent me from getting a flu. Also, when we talk about flus, when we talk about the vaccines, the industry in itself, just the flu industry, is $6 billion back in 2018. I don't have the numbers for 2019 or 2020 yet, but for 2019, I'm pretty sure it's around $6 billion, if not more, for the flu shot. And it's going to be even more next year. So you're telling me this isn't a cash grab? You're telling me this isn't, $6 billion, because people say, well, it's free, or I just paid $20. No, your insurance company is paying $200 to $300 though. Like, you have to understand, this is a cash grab. When it comes to vaccines, that's not, if they were to, and some people have actually talked about making a universal cure for this, and they've been scrutinized for it. I can't remember the people's names. You can look these people up, but they'll literally be scrutinized for the fact that they want to come up with a cure for all flus. And it literally irritates the powers that be because they don't want that to happen, because that's $6 billion down the drain that the pharmaceutical companies don't get.
There's no money in cures.
No, you know how the medical industry works. They
keep people sick.
Yeah,
Pharma.
The money is in maintaining. The money is in the medicine. The money is not in the cure.
Mm-hmm.
No, the fucking medical industry will plummet.
You got to treat them, not cure them.
Just keep you healthy enough
Jeez,
to
man.
live and keep buying.
Yeah,
Right.
Keep you comfortable, but keep it buying.
Just well enough.
Yeah, just well enough. Just well enough. The medical industry, like even the pharmacists I work with, they'll say the same thing, dude. Like they know it's a fucked up system, and yet they know what's going on, but they maintain. That's ridiculous.
I won't lie. If I was part of the medical industry, I'd be the exact same way. It's just smart. It's just a smart business.
It's just
model.
business, bro.
Right.
So have you guys seen, this is interesting. I want to wait till Rob gets out here to see this.
Cold blooded. American Psycho here.
This is like a crazy video.
I watched the movie again recently.
This is kind of showing so let's kind of I kind of want to get into the origins of where this came from, because
Chinese virus.
China.
hold on before I play that. Hold on, no, y'all didn't done it. Hold on.
It's the Chinese virus.
Hold on, trust.
That shit was hella funny though, wasn't it?
Bro, I laughed like crazy.
It was like he really,
spoke correctly.
man, Trump.
China.
I always think that Trump has stumped me when it comes to what he says.
You can't stump the Trump.
I
Can't
can't.
stump the
I
Trump,
can't.
baby.
Like,
Hold on, how did he say
always,
China?
He's always willing to top himself
Bro, that was
with the
classic,
next
bro.
soundbite,
That
and
was
what he was saying, and it was just
Someone
like,
take his phone away from him,
like
please.
somebody stop.
Twitter.
Somebody
Someone
help
take
this
phone.
help this senile
No.
man
I love
that is
Hold on,
supposed to be our president.
I got to.
I appreciated his logic as he started his
He does not use this term because ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate.
He said China.
So-
Chinese friend.
So let's have. I know we all getting our jokes off. You know, everybody gonna feel every piece of our jokes. But I think if we're looking at it from a serious perspective, and not in any way trying to support what he's saying or anything like that, if you want to get into specifics, it's like, okay, I get what the point he's trying to make. He's trying to make. The problem is your tactic and the way you're doing it. Because I get it. Because he did speak to it a little bit. If you watch the full video, and that is the thing about Trump, he's so polarizing.
On both ends,
when you watch him, a lot of people will make a lot of edited videos about him. Mm-hmm. So even as a person who I don't support him, I don't consider him a good person or somebody that's fit to be in the Oval Office.
That's even outside of left or right.
But I'm just looking at it from a perspective of I don't consider him to be a leader at all. Because he's failed even in the stuff that he's praised about, which is business. He's failed a lot. But I'm looking at it just from, I looked at the full video. He did give an explanation. That explanation, take everything aside, regardless how you feel about him or whatever, because I don't like him. I don't support him in any way as far as when it comes to his decisions. But if you look at his answer, it's not a bad answer because it's his soundbite that's bad. But how he says it, how he emphasizes China, it comes off as racist or prejudice. It does, flat out, without a doubt, and that needs to be addressed. But his explanation behind it was because other people were trying to question where its origin was coming from.
Right.
And he was trying to make it say it comes from China, as he said. So it's like, we get it. Like, okay, we get, so he's like, look, I need to make this clear. This is where it's coming from. This is where it came from. And some people are trying to muddy the waters of where it came from. But there's a way where you can do that without doing it the way he did it. And that's the problem with him being president. Because unlike the other presidents before him, they knew how to speak. And they knew how
Bush did?
Even Bush, man. Like, even Bush. I even think Bush would have done a better job.
Fool me once.
Isn't it crazy that we actually rather have him as the president? Like, would you ever
I don't
think
care.
that?
A president has no power to me.
But I'm just looking at from perspective of, even regardless of how you feel or how much control a president has, you got to look at it from the person that's speaking at the podium. It's like, all right, man, I'd rather have Bush at the podium right now. Like when you're talking about speaking to the public. But
me, how I feel about it, I'm not mad at Trump. Like how he delivered it to me. It speaks on what China did. China was reckless with saying that it came from, I believe they said it came from the U.S. military, right? U.S. troops.
And Canada. They tried to blame Canada, too.
I get
right,
that.
so,
I understand that.
So
if you watch the full video.
Correct,
I get it.
correct. So
and that's what I'm pointing out.
The way Trump delivered it to me, I wasn't mad. I thought it was hilarious. You know, I thought it was comical.
It was funny, but it's at the end of the day, it's still illegal.
I mean,
it is because the way he tried to emphasize
my only thing
was that it was almost like he was looking at it from a position of I'm better than them, and he has to understand that. I don't know if he's oblivious to it. I think I don't know if he's oblivious to it or if it's intentional or that's just the way his mannerisms are. Because I get trying to emphasize where the source is coming from, and you're trying to disprove notions that are being carried out. I get that. That's why I don't necessarily disagree with him coming out and saying, "Hey, you know, this is the reason why I'm stating it this way because this is where it came from. Because we're hearing rumors and notions that it's coming from us. We need to take a stand and say, from an educated standpoint, this is where it's not coming from.
Right.
But the way he enunciates and the way he articulates himself, it is straight up racist. Period. The way he says it, whether that's the intent or not,
it is.
It comes off that way, and he needs to understand the people that he has in place behind him. He has tons of people. But the problem is, this is why I say this.
The man can't say China?
No.
China.
No.
China.
This is the reason why. He's got tons of people. He's got tons of people in supporting him who lay out what he's supposed to talk about, what words he should choose, and be careful in which way he chooses them. The problem is, those handlers are projecting to a certain base. I'm sorry. People over 40 that are white males and white women love to hear this type of shit.
Truth.
And those are the people that are going to vote for him. So don't sit up here and try to tell me there's
like
anything different. They are pandering to a certain base, giving people license to feel this way, and not only feel this way, profess how they feel to the masses. And that's what's getting motherfuckers beat up. Like straight up, that's really what it is.
I mean, I think
that's the problem. I think with Trump's presidency is that he's giving people who shouldn't have this license to speak with this type of confidence, giving them that resolve.
By saying China?
Yes.
China!
Tony, the way he said it and the way he pronounces it and the way he's doing it, he's doing that for a reason. He's enunciating and articulating it in a specific way to do that. What I'm saying is, though, like
why'd you hold that S so long?
Now, I'm not saying if you just take the enunciation, take the tone, take all that away, take the mannerisms, take the facial expression, take all that away. What he said is not wrong, and that's why I sit up here and say I don't support him, but I will say this. He does, as a president, need to make a stand and say, look, these notions that are saying it's coming from us or our military, hey, that's not happening.
So here's my question.
This is where it came from.
He's
but he
instigating
knows
racial difference.
he's using this opportunity
but he's
to
saying,
say it the way he's trying to
but
say it.
Isn't he saying it? Hold on. Here's my question.
Exactly.
Hold on.
I can give a fuck, but he is instigating racial conflict.
I got a question. But isn't he saying it? To me, I'm sorry, but we have to always be careful when it comes to things like that. You never want to assume because it's.
I'm not assuming.
I'm just saying. To me, he's stating the country. He wasn't saying like these people, this and that. He's just saying China. Like I mean, in that sense, then I would say the entire CNN community, Democratic community that talked about Russia collusion. Why'd you say Russia? Why do you say Russia like that?
But did they say Russia? Did they say that?
China.
Did they say Soviet? Did they say that? Tony, come on. I know we're speaking in a forum where we're all having to speak, but come on. We know what he was trying to say and what he's trying to convey. We as people can visualize. We see the tone.
I think he's mad at the media. I think he was mad at CNN. Like, there you go again.
He hates them because they don't like him, and that's the way it is. And that's why he told the reporter, "You're a worse." Do you see that interview where he said you're a bad reporter when they asked a very simple question?
Dude, he shits on CNN.
Here's my only. Well, I think he should, but at the same time,
no, he shouldn't.
Hold on. Wait. Let me finish. I think he should. I think he should because I hate CNN. But at the same time,
I don't like him either.
Hold on. But at the same time, when it comes to this, he shouldn't scrutinize anybody that's reporting. Never, because that's one of our. Because
when you scrutinize the reporting, you're scrutinizing the individual. You can't separate.
Yeah, it's
when you scrutinize the CNN reporter, you're scrutinizing the whole company.
Because think about it, Tony. You got to look at it from
hold on.
this
It's an amendment.
If he
I don't think
yelled out.
Hold on. Wait. I don't think you're listening to me. It's an amendment. You should scrutinize everybody. I mean, I'm sorry, you shouldn't scrutinize them, any of them, because it's freedom of the press. You should be able to report regardless, so you shouldn't get mad at them. CNN, though, and Fox are both completely biased when it comes to all these situations, and they come up with their own agenda.
They are biased, but they are biased, but Fox more than CNN.
Fox, oh my God.
But what I'm saying, is that yes, but you can criticize.
Fair and balanced.
You can criticize and have an animosity towards the network, which I don't like CNN as an entity because I don't like what they promote. But when you deal with the individual, he didn't say CNN is a bad reporting company. He said that individual. That's the problem. He's attacking the individual who works for CNN. That's a bad thing. That individual has their own mind. They're asking a very simple question. They didn't ask an out-of-the-box question.
Right.
They asked a very simple question that any reporter from any reporting network would have asked. Fox News, any of them. But he went out of his way to go after that individual reporter. That's what makes him a bad president.
Fox is on the Republican side. They wouldn't.
But what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter who the person worked for or who they're getting a paycheck from. You would have gotten the same type of question. That question was not asked about. That was probably one of the most simplest questions you could have asked. And he went into them directly, individually, personally to that reporter. That's wrong.
He does it all the time to CNN.
But that's what I'm saying. And I look at it and I'm not trying to make the comparison with Obama or any other president before, but even other Republican presidents who are, if you have a conservative mindset, which is cool. I don't mind you having a conservative mindset.
My thing is he's said worse things before.
But my thing is, is that you have conservative mindset of presidents that have not operated with that type of decorum.
Okay. We have Emma here on the show, guys. Emma, is it still Inamarato or is it changed?
No, I changed it.
What is it now?
So now I have my legal name on Facebook, but then on Instagram I have Emmy Hart.
Ooh, Emmy Hart. Okay. So what's your view on that?
Okay, well way that they ask the question, they ask in a way that is to try to provoke. They ask with a tone in their voice that's
CNN.
trying to get him
They do it all the time.
to say something.
That's still his fault.
It could be his fault for the way he responds, but it's also
You're the
their
goddamn
fault.
president. You should know that that's coming.
But he's Trump.
It doesn't matter. Obama did it. He's smart. He knows how to dodge those things. And any other president even before him, somebody who's not smart like Bush, who got a shoe thrown at him, knows how to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He
Trump-
knows how to respond. Like Reagan, all of them, they know how to respond. Trump doesn't. That's still
Nobody
his fault.
hated
I'm
them
not- I
as
don't-
much as they hated Trump.
A lot of people hated Bush.
I don't think
I don't want to hear that. We were killing
Oh, not
Bush.
like Trump
I
though.
don't think-
The memes.
No.
The
The
memes,
social
bro.
media, the social media was not as prevalent as it was
It
with
wasn't.
Bush.
It wasn't.
You still felt it with no social media with Bush. If Bush was president right now with 9/11 that happened, then we would be murdering him. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about Trump's getting the worst. No, he's not. He's just in an era of technology in which that form can be displayed. Period. I think it's about the same. I think it's about the same. I just think that more people have a voice. I think more people have a voice.
Did you say it's arrogant?
But I'll say this. I think people are much more justified in their opinion of Trump than they are of George Bush.
Did you say arrogant?
Okay, what I want to touch on is what you said that Trump should expect this coming. I think he knows it's coming. I just don't think he cares.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And
And
I'm
that,
going to say what I want to
in
say
what
because
the-
I don't care what people think about
in
me.
what the, in,
He already-
in,
he
in
knows
what
that
you
everyone's
just
like a-
said, and I think you're absolutely right. That's the problem.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
he-
care.
He knows his
You
supporters
need
are
to
gonna
care.
get his back no matter
It
what.
depends though.
They're in love with him,
It depends though. In some,
like romantically.
in some situations, it's best to be authentic. And what he was with this whole China virus, I feel like he was very authentic. You know, and to me, like I said,
dick with coronavirus.
He's
He
authentic.
said it was not
to
like a
who
big
he
deal.
is.
Then all his
That's
friends
not
dumped their
authentic in the
stocks.
sense
Then he
of
said it was a big
validity.
deal and the stock market crashed after they dumped their stocks.
with the situation of China saying it was caused by the United States.
That was messed up.
You know what I mean? I feel like he's been authentic with his response to defending the country, pretty much.
Honestly, what I think would happen is coronavirus came out in China, the protests stopped because everyone was sick. Then Trump's like, that's a good idea. I'm going to take a playbook out of their book and I'm going to run that here. And I think that might be what's going on now.
I feel like that's overlooked, to be honest. I mean, the coronavirus got people off the street in China, so. And that's
And
what
Trump
they're
wants
doing.
less protesting going on in America, so it's like, hey, let's get everyone sick. Just sick enough that they don't want to leave their homes.
That's definitely.
And for the people who
overlooked.
still feel good, we're going to throw a mandatory lockdown and curfew on them.
Yep.
I mean, there is rumor.
You want to feel good? You want to go to Mexico? You want to go to Cancun?
That Canada,
Quarantine them.
USA, and China were all in this
Yeah,
together.
fuck them. Like, honestly,
We
you'd be
gotta
like,
talk about that.
you'd be like, yo, Yang, we're
Talk
gonna
about our
protest for
goddamn
democracy some more. Like,
Cancun
nah, not
trip
today, man. I'm not
being
protesting tomorrow.
canceled because of
Can't
this
protest
Roni,
today. Like,
Rona, all this shit.
Rody.
Can't protest
Fuck,
today.
man.
He said,
I was supposed to have my
I'm
toes
sick.
submerged in white sand right now.
rock on.
Hey, shout out to,
Fake
what's
news?
it? No.
So dumb.
Mr. Die Slow.
Oh my God, I'm done.
God damn it.
Shout out to Donald Trump. I need
To
that-
Rich
I need that
Piana.
$20 now.
2 weeks you gotta wait. 2 weeks.
Mr. Dice Lock. Yeah.
$1,000 it costs me every month.
Oh my God. Well, the reason I even brought up China in the first place.
What you got for us, Tony?
The reason I brought it up, but so I just recently got shown this footage, and this is crazy of like the Wuhan market.
Disgusting.
Like this was, I won't show the dog.
Don't, man. That's not cool.
No, I won't show the dog.
So allegedly, this is where the coronavirus came from.
They
Bro, like-
have bird flu back. They're spreading bird flu again.
I know, and it's just like,
That is scary.
well, I mean, it looks casual. I mean, look, it looks like you can rent a moped for like less than $2.
Look at the dogs in the cage.
What? I mean, they got them in cages. They don't want them running. What's wrong with that?
But there's a dog. You'll see up on the left. There's one in.
There's one right there.
There's one outside the cage, and then there's a bunch of them in the cage.
You're a conspiracy theorist. Stop.
Look at that one. That one's not edible. The one outside the cage is not edible.
That's because he's a loyal.
He's a golden retriever. That's like the
Or he might have been a service dog.
No, I mean, like it's.
that's like the 10 of dogs.
It doesn't look too bad, right?
As of now.
I mean,
Holy
everybody's
shit, that's a fucking
so
snake.
Close
What's that,
together.
python?
That's
Yeah,
a.
that's okay.
And it completely doesn't look sanitary at all.
I hear snake's good.
They
eating,
keep
though.
arguing as to
Hey,
whether
no,
it's
snake
a
is
bat,
good,
a
man.
rat,
I've
or
had
a
that.
Snake.
I hear snake is good eating.
It is. That and gator, man, people be sleeping on that.
What's that right next to it?
I hear dog tastes like chicken, but it's just.
Those are
Oh.
rodent,
Yeah, I
right?
can't fuck with the dog.
Um,
That
Yeah,
looks
they
like dog
eat 'em
food.
But the
like a
snake and
corn
gator,
dog.
that shit's good.
Like a mutton.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
It's nasty.
Would you guys eat there?
Snakes
well-
are just like rodents.
So, I've been-
I really don't give a shit just because any type of reptile.
wait, that's a
getting
fucking cat,
eradicated
bro.
is
He's got
hard to feel-
no,
have feelings.
no. Go back. Look at that. He's got the cat. Look at the cat. The kitten. Oh no.
Oh man, I can see Tony Baker doing a voiceover on this.
Oh no. Will you grab me?
He's like,
come
man, come here. Get off me, playboy. Get off me. Get your hook off me, man. I ain't gonna be nobody's last meal. You feel me?
Tony,
Yes, he would say that.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
So they have a lovely little lab that is located a couple blocks down from this. How likely is it that one of the animals they were testing these viruses on got out and got into this?
Maybe.
Labrador.
You saying a Labrador got a flight? You can't get a flight right now.
No, they have a science lab where they practice. I sent you that link.
Yeah, we
last
can't
week.
get a flight. We tried. Shit. We was trying to go
And it's a
to
couple blocks away
Cancun
from
with the
this
Roni.
market,
That's a day.
where they practiced on animals to see how the virus reacts.
I'm
in
so
their
mad
system.
about this.
I know you guys are about to drop some money on it too. Not
No, right? This is crazy,
We already
man.
did drop money.
Gonna get you a fucking refund. Son.
I gotta wait because I
Bet
called
you one of
and
those
they
cats
fucking.
had it.
But why
they
there's
said
so
they
much
got
snake?
3 days to our trip.
Hold on, I actually want to see. There was a scene where there was bats.
It's actually scary 'cause it's one of the first diseases that
Hold on. Where the bats at?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, bats in his hand.
They're gonna give you
Bro, guys, look, guys. This is where Corona comes from. Look, there's bats. There's fucking bats in there.
But they're dead. The ones
That's
that
still
want to
disgusting.
survive,
But because of everything,
they were
Little
dead
mini
when they died.
Draculas?
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, nah, I'm done, bro. This is Wuhan. This is China.
China.
This is China. Oh my God. I mean, and you know what? It's funny because regardless, outside of the fact that, you know, we have geneticists and everybody that works in the health department that have talked about this being, it's engineering. They can tell that it's spliced and it's engineered. You can tell that it's chemically spliced. And this is just biochemical warfare. They can tell. They can look at this. But still, this Wuhan thing is crazy. I feel like any disease would come out of this. This is crazy.
I'm gonna push some of the money back. But if they say, look,
Oh, point it towards you.
the credit.
I can't really think of many diseases that transfer from animal to human. I know that bites back from bubonic plague from rats transfer from animal to human, but like you can't really name a whole lot of diseases that could actually go from animal to human. That's why this is so scary.
Yeah.
I believe
I might have to take that.
they blame China for SARS and the bird flu, right? Which they believe originated from one of these meat markets.
Because the hotel has to pay you back right away.
So if
But
you're
wait,
tickling your
say it
thoughts,
again?
stay home.
I believe it's SARS,
But I think
SARS,
right
and
now
bird
they're not
flu.
getting- They're just saying that I think the refund right now is.
I gotta take my own baby. I'm not going anywhere.
I was 30.
So what? From my understanding is, I believe that SARS and the bird flu was originated from, I believe, one of these meat markets. I'm not too sure, but I mean, China
100%
gets
bird flu. Bird
Yeah.
flu did come from a meat market.
That's why
It
correct.
was chickens. It was all the chickens. They had to kill all the chickens.
Correct.
Jesus.
They thought it was gonna come to America. They got it in because I was there.
Bro, have you guys been to Chinatown in the Bay?
Yeah.
I can't stand being there. Like I can smell the bird death. Like I can smell the
Do you
meat
see
from
the
there.
ducks that are just hanging?
They're fucking hanging. I'm like I want to throw up. I'm like,
They
oh,
slit
what
the
the.
throat and just let it bleed, and you just get to walk in it.
And bro, I'm half Mexican, bro. We used to slit goats' throats and do all kind. Like I'm used to grabbing chickens by the head, and like taking their heads off. This shit in Chinatown, bro.
Yeah, it's no
no,
joke.
bro. I can't deal with it. It's crazy.
No joke. I mean, I work for Rockstar. I go into these grocery stores all the time, and I go into like the Chinese stores. I think it's like SF Food Market or whatever.
love them.
And like I believe they're taking like fish from local fishermen. You know what I mean? It's like a guy that goes out fishing and he'll stop by the store. In the back of the store, he'll give them a whole bucket of fish and he'll just give them cold hard cash. You know, so
They like to work under the table.
exactly. Which makes me like wonder like how are they passing these food inspections? You know what I mean? Like they have to be kicking out either extra money or you know what I mean? Like these places should be closed down. But I mean, like,
I
this
don't
is,
think it was the FDA in China, so they're just like they slip them a couple of $100 and
Exactly.
we'll look away.
they look the other way.
Because that's the way government works. It's the way to make money.
Yep.
Just be a little bit crooked. And like in Mexico, if I go get a Lieutenant cop calls me over, I give him $20 and he lets me go. And he'll always come to me like, I found this in the trunk. I'm like, I don't even have a trunk.
Damn.
Yeah, this is just an incredible video. And if you guys have time to watch it, I would watch it all the way through. It's like 6 to 7 minutes, but I mean,
It's kind of messed up. It makes you a little hungry, right?
to be honest, when I first seen it, I lost my appetite. Like I was just like, this is
It's the blood
it's
on
crazy.
the ground that
Yeah.
Flavors that.
But then again, it's like seeing the dogs, the cats. It's like animals that we see as pets. You know, they're being sold as meat and food.
If you really watch the footage of them walking through the streets, they have pets. But there's certain breeds that they view as pets.
As food.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like they're living like the way the animals eat, or the animals would eat during like a nuclear holocaust. It's like they're like permanently in some sort of nuclear holocaust, and they're having to eat these animals
Right.
when they actually don't need to.
Right.
Like I mean, we eat snakes here and every once in a while, but very rarely. And
Exactly.
people like hunt them really.
Right.
But we will never eat cats or dogs unless by accident.
Oh, did you send me the other one,
Or
by the
if
way?
there's nothing else to eat.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we'll exhaust everything else. We eat horses first. We eat. I mean, the last thing on the menu would obviously be people. But like,
Right.
we'll definitely eat a cat or a dog before a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
If it came
Well,
to
not
it.
my dog because I love her more than any person I've ever met in my entire
I
life.
hate people, but I like cats.
Like, I remember my best friend from a dog.
Hey, Rob, get Rob. So what do you guys think of this?
This is disgusting.
Guys, this is very graphic, by the way.
This all bad right here. They cooking a live dog?
Well, they're better when they're live.
What is wrong with you?
What?
When you cook a lobster, do you put it in dead or do you put it in live?
I don't give a fuck about the lobster. Fuck that lobster.
Bro, he's barking.
That thing is barking with hair on it.
That, dude. Fuck
The
that.
hair comes off when you cook it.
I am like
Nah, bro, turn that off, man. I ain't trying to see that.
I am like violently aggressively against that shit. Oh my god, turn that off.
Calm your asses down. Anyways,
You have to realize this has been a part of their culture for years and years and years. It doesn't matter what diseases, doesn't matter
China.
what viruses come out of this. This
From
is going
China.
to be their life.
because it comes from Chinese people.
So much.
Doesn't fear spoil meat? So shouldn't they like bolt
Yes,
them in the
it
head
does.
first?
It actually makes
Well,
it more
if it creates adrenochrome, it can actually help your skin.
Was it the kosher?
Shut up with the adrenochrome, Tony.
You guys love adrenochrome.
Shut up with that one.
The kosher effect.
This actually tenderizes the meat because they're stressed.
There ain't nothing kosher about that.
No, it's just
Fucking
It's just
what
like-
would be kosher about that?
That's so inhumane. The fact that he's got him in a walk,
he's alive and in a walk. That's
bro.
so dark as
Like that looks
fuck.
like that could be at Wayside Noodle.
No, wayside noodle.
That's
Maybe just listen to them.
Wayside Noodle.
Got to
We don't
put-
have noodle. We got more.
No,
it's
you're very
racist when
Confucius
Trump
about
says
putting dog
China.
in bowl. Wayside noodle.
I gotta put
Yes.
that one out there though. Hey, Rob, it's racist when Trump says
No.
China, but
No.
it's not racist when you say that.
When I say,
Oh,
Wayside noodle.
that's what they say when I come in.
that's what they. Who's they? Who's they?
Yeah, who's they? Who's they?
Culture appropriation.
He took a drink. Into a little bubble.
It's a drink.
racist.
Are they a bubble?
Cultural
You
appropriation.
just bumped
What
them.
next? Just America? Halloween?
No, I lumped in Wayside Noodle. How they greet me at Wayside Noodle
You
is
said they.
this is
You
Wayside
said
Noodle.
they.
What if Trump did that? What if Trump was like wayside noodle?
People that they the ones that work at Wayside Noodle.
If someone greets me like, "What up, son?" I don't like mock their voice and say, Nothing, dog. I don't do that. Let's go. How's it going, sir?
He said they though.
I had to point it out. I
What's
had
that?
They
Whoa.
they
You
equals
just
the
assumed
people
their
that work
gender?
at Wayside Noodle that greet me.
Race
And their gender?
and gender?
It's them, not
Oh,
them.
fucking believable. Unbelievable.
That's a podcast for a whole nother.
Oh my god.
I think we just.
That's we can get deep into that. That's a whole
I'm
other
drunk.
standard.
So after just pissing off 80% of millennials, maybe we should get back on topic.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to do that to you.
I'm sorry.
I have to jump on top of that.
Oh, come on, the other side. Yeah, a little bit later. I would like the white privilege of having a White Claw. I've never done that. Wow. Are we allowed to drink that?
Only because you can drink this only because
I stood firm with the
you have to
opinion.
be in the room with me.
Wayside Noodle, man, y'all make some
Oh
bomb
my
ass
god.
wings.
Look at my
I'm
white.
gonna
Look
have to
at.
shout that
Hey.
y'all out on that.
Oh,
Cheers to white privilege.
Yep. Hey, that's
2020 is not all that bad. There we go.
Oh, he got the White Claw in the glass. That's white privilege like a motherfucker.
I'm waiting for my card to come in the mail.
Do I say Indiana Jones and go like this?
You
Do I do
have
that?
to.
Okay.
Let's not even talk
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it just because that's the only thing that Ben Shapiro has said that I agree with.
Oh, Ben Shapiro. Goddamn Ben.
That's the only topic of conversation that I agree with.
I would love to see you at Berkeley College just grabbing Ben, just like throwing
But
him
I don't,
over.
but we have to make sure that the specific topic that me and him agree on cannot be the topic of the conversation.
Can I talk to you, Mr. What'd you say your name was? Rob? Okay, can I talk?
Listen here, Ben S. Let me talk to you.
I don't,
Is it
I'm gonna,
BS?
listen, for how
I
long
should
do you
say
know? You haven't known me that long.
I'm
so
like, the first thing I would say.
can talk as fast as Ben. I
No,
really
the first
can't.
the first thing I would say during the debate, I was like, oh, so your initials is BS. Man, that's ironic. All right, let's talk about it.
I like that you use my name as a pun. Thank you. I hope that's all. I mean, if that's all you get, then yeah, you're in for a treat.
That's
Anyways,
highbrow
What type of treat is it? C's? I hope so.
You said quick on the draw, son.
I'd love to argue with Ben because Ben gets most people thrown off because how quickly he talks.
Dude, he talks so fast.
He talks so fast and people don't understand. But
he
all
talks
you have
at
to do,
140 words per minute.
all you have to do is with him. It's very easy. You just have to wait for the punchline. And so once you hear the punchline, then you know the topic of which he's trying to go with the advertisement. That's it.
Truth.
That's it. That's all you have to do. Most people just get lost in his speedy
Dude, most people
words.
just get lost in listening to Shapiro's big fucking words and his million miles a minute fucking
So
speech.
are we talking
Right.
about coronavirus or are we stroking Ben Shapiro's dick? I have to ask.
I don't.
Can we do both?
Can we do both?
I don't want to. I don't stroke his unless
I got two hands.
I don't stroke no man's with a yarmulke on. I'm telling you that right now.
I mean, at this point, I think we've pretty much talked about everything that we can. But we'll keep you guys updated for anything else. I mean, like I said, so far, we have military in different cities right now. Everybody's still on lockdown. I don't know if there's a mandatory martial law yet that's been announced.
Rumor is Monday.
So rumors Monday that's going to happen. If that happens again, nobody panic. Just stay calm. As long as we don't see aliens coming out of the sky or we don't see zombies running the
April is
streets,
aliens.
we really don't have anything to worry about. You guys should have food and water for at least the next 3 months. If I were you guys, don't go in and panic buy, but just
Be
buy.
sparing. Buy
Go with-
one per person, please. Don't be that
Right.
person getting 90 things of toilet paper. Take it easy.
If you guys go into the stores, you shouldn't just shop at one place either. Try to go to like 3 to 4 stores. Just get 1 or 2 items,
to
and that's
the
it.
dollar
At 1 to 3 to 4 stores. Very simple, guys. Just protect yourselves, protect your family. If you don't have a gun, I still encourage you guys to go out because some gun shops are still open. There's a gun shop here. It's in Citrus Heights. It's actually right before you get off on Antelope, guys. If you guys in Sacramento, if you guys go there.
I advise you buy a gun. And
It's a 10-day wait still, but you still will get your gun.
Legally purchase a firearm. Do it.
Right. It's a 10-day wait still, but you will still get your firearm.
Take some classes and get your concealed carry.
Yeah, that's a little longer, but I mean, yeah, you can do that as well.
The more armed citizens, the better.
Right. And so you guys should definitely do that because we don't know what's going to happen again. Like I said, hopefully this is just a medical thing. This isn't going to be anything that gets blown out of proportion. But if it does, I do want anybody that is a truther or someone that looks into the truth to actually be prepared, who's not a sheep, who's willing to actually fight side by side by your brothers and sisters to help each other out in case there is something that happens. Help each other out, guys. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. Don't be a prick. Don't steal from people. Don't do dumb shit. All right, cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Red Pill Station. I am Brandon Pearson.
I'm Tony Scroggins.
wore ready from at the office.
And it's coats, not jackets. Don't wear it unless you're ready for it.
Red Pill Station, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking the red pill, and we will see you guys later.